Speaker, I come to this chamber, Mr. Speaker, every week to ask sensible questions, and I expect sensible answers, but all I get is glazed expressions and waffle.
Parliament erupts as Lee Anderson speaks his mind to Keir Starmer during PMQs. You're not going to believe what just happened inside Parliament today. What was supposed to be a routine Prime Minister's questions turned into one of the most chaotic and emotional sessions we've seen all year. The chamber erupted when Lee Anderson, known for his no-nonsense style and sharp tongue, stood up and decided to speak his mind directly to Keir Starmer. Now, everyone knows PMQs can get heated, but this was on another level. And the way Starmer reacted has everyone talking tonight. It started out calm as Parliament ever gets. The Speaker had just finished calling Anderson to put his question forward. But instead of reading from a neat page of pre-written notes like most MPs do, Anderson went completely off-script. He locked eyes with Starmer and said in that bold, straightforward tone he's become famous for, "Prime Minister, the British people are tired. They're tired of excuses, tired of fancy talk, and tired of politicians who don't live in the real world." The room went silent for a moment, and then it exploded. Gasps, murmurs, even some cheers from the backbench. You could practically feel the tension in the air. Starmer, visibly taken aback, leaned forward, clearly deciding whether to stay calm or hit back. And he did hit back, but carefully. He said, "I'll take no lectures on leadership from a man who'd rather grandstand than offer real solutions." That's when the whole chamber lost control. MPs shouting, others laughing, the Speaker desperately calling, "Order! Order!" But nobody was listening. What made this exchange so explosive wasn't just the words, it was what those words represented. Lee Anderson, once a member of the Conservative Party and now sitting independently after a series of controversies, has built his image as a working-class voice, someone who says what others are afraid to say. And when he confronted Starmer, it wasn't just about politics. It was about frustration, the kind millions of ordinary voters feel every single day. Anderson's challenge to Starmer wasn't polished, it wasn't diplomatic, but it was raw. He said what many have whispered, that Parliament has become disconnected from the people it's meant to represent. You could sense it, MPs shifting uncomfortably, others smirking as if to say, "He's actually saying it out loud." Now, Starmer's response was textbook calm, calculated, but with that familiar edge of irritation. He reminded the House of his government's achievements: economic stability, investment in services, stronger leadership compared to the chaos of previous years. But the damage was already done. Because moments like this don't just vanish after PMQs, they go viral. Within minutes, clips of the exchange were trending across X and TikTok. One clip posted by a journalist hit 1 million views in under an hour. The caption, "Lee Anderson just said what millions are thinking and Starmer couldn't handle it." Another read, "Parliament turns into chaos as Anderson unloads on the PM." And the comments, they were split. Some viewers praised Anderson, calling him the only one with guts. Others accused him of grandstanding, saying, "This isn't bravery, it's theater." But whichever side you're on, there's no denying he made people listen. Behind closed doors, insiders say Starmer's team wasn't happy. One source close to Labour HQ reportedly said, "Lee knows exactly what he's doing. He's turning frustration into performance." But another insider admitted, "It's working." People relate to that raw honesty even if it's messy. And that's the paradox of modern politics, isn't it? We say we want professionalism, but we feel something when a politician drops the script. Anderson's moment, love it or hate it, tapped into that feeling. Political commentators have already started analyzing it. On GB News, one host described it as a defining clash, the establishment versus the street. On LBC, a journalist said, "This is what happens when the voice of the people walks into a room built to silence emotion." And on social media, the discussion just won't stop. One tweet that went viral simply said, "Lee Anderson might have just ended the polite version of politics." That's powerful. Because whether he meant to or not, Anderson reminded everyone that Parliament isn't just about speeches, it's about confrontation, accountability, and emotion. Let's be honest, Keir Starmer has faced tougher questions before. He's debated in courtrooms, faced hostile media, and gone toe-to-toe with the opposition many times. But what threw him off today wasn't just Anderson's tone, it was the truth behind the frustration. It's the same frustration you hear in pubs, in workplaces, at kitchen tables, people who feel ignored, overtaxed, and underheard. Anderson simply said it loudly. And for a moment, the walls of Parliament echoed something real. By the end of the exchange, even the Speaker seemed exhausted. You could see him muttering under his breath, trying to bring the room back to order. But the story had already left the building. TV networks are replaying it on loop. Clips are spreading. Headlines are forming. And now, everyone's asking the same question. Was this the day Lee Anderson crossed the line? Or the day he finally connected with the people in a way the others can't? Because let's face it, no matter how polished politics gets, moments like this remind us why live debates still matter. They're unscripted, unpredictable, human. So what happens next? Well, Starmer's office is expected to issue a statement later this week, trying to steer the conversation back to Labour's policies. Anderson, on the other hand, has already taken to social media, saying, "I'll never apologize for speaking my mind. That's what real people do." And that post already has tens of thousands of likes. Whether you see him as a hero or a headline chaser, one thing's clear: Lee Anderson knows how to make Parliament listen. And as one commentator put it bluntly, you can silence a microphone, but you can't silence frustration. This story isn't about left or right, it's about reality versus rhetoric. And the question now is simple. If this was just one moment, what's coming next? Because after today, every PMQ will feel a little different.